Hey guys, it's Dr. Dragonite here, and welcome to episode 5 of Runescape Rambles. Today we're going to talk about Leagues to Trailblazers. Should you do it, or should you just ignore the fact that it's a separate game mode, and what my plan is to go through Leagues. So, one thing you gotta kind of know about Leagues is that it is a separate game mode. It has nothing to do with the main game. It's a different way to play, and it's only temporary. So it's not that important to play if you really are having fun in the main game. I would suggest that anybody who's having a good time playing the main game doesn't try and go do Leagues, because you're playing the main game because you have fun, and the only reason to go to Leagues is to have like a different type of fun, I guess. You need to have the mindset that if you want to get anywhere in Leagues, you're going to have to play a lot during a specific amount of time. And not everybody has that kind of time. An hour a day is not going to get you very far in Leagues, and you're probably not going to make it to the end game content only playing an hour a day. So maybe at that point, if you're really playing to get to the end game of Leagues, you might not want to play at all. Another thing is that, you know, people say, oh, you make passive money playing Leagues because you can trade the points in, but it's not good money. So if you're doing it for like the end game rewards, you'd be better off killing a boss in the main game and waiting until the league's over and then buying all the rewards from somebody else. Wait like a week or so they're at their like mid to low price after everybody's kind of bought them out and the price is adjusted, and that's going to be your best bet for buying things at a lower price. But the bottom line is you could spend 20 hours in the main game getting the same amount of money that you would receive at the end of Leagues if you spent 200 hours. So it's not, don't do it for the money. Like, you can if you want to, but just know that you're not getting good money, and that all the rewards are rewards that you can get from other people. So there's no reason to do Leagues just for the rewards. It's really there to just have a good time and see what you're capable of in a different layout. And one thing I'm going to try and do is I am going to try and play Leagues. I'm getting even closer to maxing, so what I'm going to do as a player is I've bought in a couple bonds for an alternate account that I can play Leagues on. Now, the beginning of my Leagues is going to be very skill based. It's not going to be PVM based, because even though they're trying to make PVM more of a focus in this league than the last one, where if you got like 25 and 50 million XP in a skill, you'd get like a big boost of points and stuff. That may or may not be a thing this time. They did say that they were going to try and balance PVM and skilling, so a lot of the tasks are going to be like make a blue dragon hide body and things like that. You're not going to have to do PVM, but skilling is only going to get you so far as well. So my plan is to skill as much as I can at the beginning, and unlock a bunch of different the relics to help with my skilling. The PVM we'll have to see when they release, because it's really hard to theory craft when you don't have any PVM relics released. But what you need to do is make sure that the area you're going to spend the most time in is going to be the area that you like have the most content that you want to do. So for me, I'm going to start in the Kandarin section, and the Kandarin section is mostly skilling and Slayer bosses. It's got Thermonuclear Smoke Devil and Kraken. Kraken provides a trident, Thermonuclear Smoke Devil provides the battle staff, a dragon chain body, and that's pretty much all you've got. Everything else is skilling. You can do Barb Assault, maybe get a Penance Queen pet or something, and show how lucky you are if you do that the entire league or something. And a lot of it's just kind of skilling in the Kandarin section. Next, I'll probably end up going to the desert. The reason that I think the desert is going to be like the most overpowered and broken section in the entire Leagues for points wise is because it doesn't have that much content. And in order to balance out points in different areas, you're going to have to realize that the desert tasks are actually going to have to be probably significantly more points than any other area where you can go do so many different things and maybe get small amounts of points. So you could say maybe there's an average of like 2,500 to 3,000 points in an area. And in the Kandarin section, those points might be included in 500 different tasks. However, in the desert area, there's only so much to do. So even if there's only, let's say, 2,000 points in the desert area, each task might end up giving 100 points or something for that area. And that's something to think about, because that's really going to progress like how far you can go with spending less time playing the game. Another thing is that my ultimate route would be to end up at Tier 1 and be able to do all that kind of content. I do really enjoy that content in the Prifddinas and Ledia and all those places. So if you're looking to do some PVM, then having a trident, tentacle whip, piety, blowpipe is all going to be very helpful, especially for like if you want to do Zulrah as your main thing. You could go for highest Jad kill count once you get a blowpipe, and the desert unlocks darts, so you can make your own darts. The relic I'll start with is the one that makes it so when you're using your resources to create products, that one will be the best for making darts, bars, and all that. And so that's part of the whole skilling process at the beginning, and that's why I'm going to unlock Kandarin at first. And then we'll move from there, and we'll get Infinity and stuff, and it's just a thing to think about. I know a lot of people will want to go to God Wars Dungeon because they're going to want to do Bandos. One thing to think about is that there's not going to be 100 League Worlds. So if there's only 10 League Worlds, there's only 10 people who can do Bandos at a time. So you either have to rush there or just camp it until it's dead. We don't know yet if they're going to make it like so that just whoever does the most damage gets to drop it bosses, because if they do, then you could just have like 100 people there and then you'll get 1 out of 100 drops. Is it even worth your time? So anything like multiplayer based is not ideal for leagues, specifically because we're all going to be ironmen and we're not going to be able to kill things together as far as we know at the moment. And this is something that I think a lot of people are forgetting about, and that is going to really change the entire game of how people play. People are going to unlock things like the God Wars Dungeon, or they're going to unlock some other group boss that they plan on doing, but realize that, you know, you can't do it because there's too many people trying to do it. And I think that's where a lot of the solo bosses are going to really come in, is that if you unlock Zulrah, well, you just go into Zulrah and nobody else is there, so you could just kill it as much as you want, get your blowpipe, your serpentine helm, your serpentine visage. Go, if you're me, then you can go to the Kandarin area, get a trident. You can make a toxic trident. You can make a toxic trident E, which will probably be a task. And there's so much more that you can just do with the game for solo bosses. And that's kind of the route I'm going to take. Don't go to Fremennik for Dagonoth Kings expecting it not to be packed with like 10 to 15 people on each world and thinking that you're going to get a ring, because you're probably not. It's like multiplayer bosses and multi-combat bosses are what's going to hurt your long game. So if you decide like me to start with Kandarin and start your skilling and prep up over the first like couple days to week, and then you move over to something more PVM oriented, you're probably going to want to do some solo bosses. If you do something like Mortania, then you're probably going to want to rush Barrows, because you either have to have friends who are dedicated as much as you are to the game to be able to do TOB, or you're going to have to hope that a relic makes it soloable. And that's not something most players can get behind. Mortania has Barrows, but it has so many bosses and item drops and stuff that you're not going to get a lot of points for the things you do in Mauritania. It's not realistic to obtain every single item in Mauritania. However, if you go to Kandarin, it's entirely possible for you to get all the drops from Kraken and all the drops from Thermi and maybe all the drops from Zulrah and stuff, because you're not competing with anybody really. Thermonuclear Smoke Devil maybe, but Kraken you can make a private instance and never worry about anybody there. And it's just so much easier because you don't have to rely on not having people around you. And this is something that I've talked about before, which is why the Iron Man game mode kind of hurts the MMO aspect of the game, but it's one of those things where if you think about it, you're not going to be able to do anything you want to do in the game. It's just not possible as an Iron Man, especially with a limited number of servers. So make sure when you're choosing your areas that you choose them in an order that's going to give you or that has like the highest likelihood to give you the most enjoyment out of the game if you're going to play it. And if you're having fun enjoying the main game, just play that, because that's really the game that's going to last with you forever. So Leagues is not important to play. You can play the main game, get all the rewards from Leagues off other people, and you'll save time and money doing it that way. If you want to have a unique gameplay experience, then join Leagues. But remember that if you can only play like an hour a day at the most, you're probably not going to get anywhere very far in Leagues. And that time you spend in Leagues is time taken away from being able to make some money in the main game to buy the rewards when Leagues is over. So if you enjoyed this video, don't forget to leave a like. Let me know what your route is and the kind of content you want to do in Leagues down below in the comments. And don't forget to subscribe for more RuneScape Rambles and other content. And I hope to see you guys in the next video.